We were crazy for taking Arnold Barboza Jr. at a 3-1 dog, and he got the victory there. And here is my prediction for this fight. I'm going with the world champion Carlos Adames. I just think he is too much right now for Sheeraz. Like I said, if they were to fight a few years from now, I think Sheeraz would be a different story. I just don't think he's quite ready for that step up. He looks amazing in all of his fights, but when you look at his defense, I think there's some holes in that defense. I think his angles could be a bit sharper. I think Adames is going to wear on him. I think the pressure, the power, and the experience is going to be too much. If I were you guys, I'd listen to me. I'd put all my money on Adames. I think he's going to go in there as the underdog, and at the end of the fight, we're going to hear, and still. This is not...
Carlos Adames retains the WBC title, but I'm pretty sure Frank Warren's going to try and get a rematch straight away, based on that being a split draw.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny. In today's video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning last night's world title fight at 160 pounds between the champion Carlos Adames and the challenger Hamzah Sheeraz. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please hit the subscribe button? Statistics tell me that over 80% of you guys who watch my content haven't hit subscribe yet, so please do that. Also, could you like this video as well as hit the bell icon, the notifications button. What that'll allow me to do is every time I put a video out that's new, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you. Guys, it was a full card last night, some exciting fights, some matchups. This one had the most controversy, in my opinion. Multiple areas to talk about, which we will get into today. If you followed the channel last week, you would have seen that I predicted Adames to win the fight, and the ring announcer would say, and still, I was right. Adames keeps his belt. He's still the 160-pound champion, but the history books will write that he did not win the fight. It was called a split draw. That in itself, if you watched it with us or if you watched it on your own, it's controversial to say the least. 114 to 114 one judge, 115 to 114 the other judge, 118 to 110 in favor of Adames, the other judge. So whatever you saw, however you scored it, in the comment section right now, let me know what your scorecards read and if you agree with the split draw decision. Also, I want to play this video of Turki Alalshikh, the man who has all the power, the man who bought the Ring magazine, and the man who is getting all the flowers for bringing these amazing fighters to Riyadh season and having these amazing fights. This is in between the 10th and the 11th round of Adames versus Sheeraz. What do you make of this? That is Turki Alalshikh, who's the head guy in charge, telling a fighter during a fight that he is down 2 on the scorecards. Now, outrage, shock, what do you make of this? I feel personally, my opinion, you're going to get my opinion here, that has no place in boxing. A fighter should not be spoken to by anybody not affiliated with their team outside of the ropes, especially regarding the scoring, regarding the judges, regarding how the fight is going to be played out, and regarding the potential outcome. That in itself was shocking to me, to see how transparent Turki did. He didn't even try to hide it. He marched with his guys up to the corner and spoke to him firsthand. Now, I must admit, that 11th round started and Sheeraz came out on fire. It was one of his best rounds. It wasn't enough to give Sheeraz the victory, the split draw. Before we continue, I want to read some of the people on Twitter what they were saying after we heard the decisions. One fan writes, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, but Sheeraz got wasted here. That's a robbery. Can't be a draw for blank." A second one wrote, "Wow, Adames clearly won that fight. That looked rigged." A third added, "Robbery. Adames definitely won." And another one wrote, "F right off. No way a split draw. Sheeraz lost by about 6 rounds." So more outrage, more controversy. We got the Turki Alalshikh talking straight to Sheeraz. We got the judges' scorecards being all over the place. Now what I want to do is take a look at the stats of the fight, rounds 1 through 12. We're going to look at the total shots, the jabs, and the power shots. Before we get into that, the story of this fight was Sheeraz started out really good. He used his height, he used his reach, he used his jab which was on full display the first, we'll say, 3 to 4 rounds of the fight. Adonis was feeling him out. Adonis was figuring that space out. Neither guy the first 4 rounds was doing much, and the stats will tell that story. Adonis was taking his time, wanting to see how quick Sheeraz was, how powerful he was, and where that proper distance would be to either get hit or not get hit with that jab. And overall, Sheeraz did land a jab. It was the best thing about him, was his accuracy with the jab, but I just wanted to see more. He was really unwilling to throw his backhand. He was really unwilling to exchange, was really unwilling to go to the body. With Adonis, you saw a world champion. You saw a guy who's more seasoned. The 30-year-old executed a great game plan. Once he had the data computed with Sheeraz's length and his jab, he started putting on the pressure. His head movement was awesome to watch. His defensive skills were awesome to watch, and his body work. When I tell you the stats of the body work, that is what dominated the fight. That is what won the fight, his power shots. Sheeraz obviously felt something in that fight to where he didn't want to engage with Adonis in a war. And this ultimately backfired, in my opinion, in the eyes of the fans, but the judges saw something else. Now, after the scorecards were read, another point of contention would be the records. Now, granted, it's not a loss for either guy, but that draw will be on both guys' records. And if you've ever had a fight camp before, no guy ever wants to go into a fight or a fight camp and spend countless hours preparing and give their blood, sweat, sacrifice, tears in the ring, and then it be called a draw. It's pretty downheartening to hear from the announcer, but the belt does stay in Adonis's corner. Do you guys want to see a rematch? Where do both guys go from here? Sheeraz's 15-fight knockout win streak is no more. He's still undefeated. Let's look at those stats real quick. Guys, throughout the 12 rounds, the total jabs, Adonis throws 252 and lands 53 at a 21% clip. Sheeraz throws 323, landing 87 at a 27% clip. Power punches thrown, Adonis 257, landing 90 at a 35% clip. Sheeraz 167, landing 48 at a 29% clip. Adonis also landed 45 body shots compared to Sheeraz's 5. And I should also mention, almost doubling up the power shots, 90 to 48. When we look at the total punches, Adonis 509, landing 143 at a 28% clip. Sheeraz 490, landing 135 at a 28% clip. But the total body shots landed throughout the fight, Adonis 73, Sheeraz 9. And once again, guys, it's the power shots and the body shots that told the story. It was Adonis's movement, it was his elusiveness, but his aggression, it was controlling of the lead foot, and it was really Sheeraz's hesitance to turn it up a notch. We kept waiting for him to put it into the second gear, but he just seemed to be comfortable using his jab, sticking, and staying out of range of Adonis. And every time Adonis would engage, you got to see that savvy veteran skill set of him shoe shining the body, ripping power shots, body up top, and that was enough in my opinion. I didn't quite have it 118 to 110. There were a few rounds that you could have tied it. A couple of those early rounds, I definitely had Adonis at the end up by at least 4 rounds. Guys, let me know how you scored this in the comment section below. Was this a robbery? Was it a split draw? Where does each guy go from here? Let me know.